Look, I've literally tried every possible business model you can think of, all the way from growing Instagram team pages, selling shoutouts, affiliate marketing, dropshipping with Facebook ads or with organic marketing, selling services, selling coaching, selling digital products, and the list goes on and on. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Fred. I'm a 21-year-old entrepreneur from a lower middle class background. I went from having only $400 in my bank account just over 4 years ago to making over $1,000 a day at only 21 years old, selling services and digital products. I also went from being completely socially anxious to the point I couldn't even go for a walk outside to spreading my message with the world on social media and generating over 36.7 million views in just 6 months, starting with no audience. So in this video, we are going to take a look at the pros and at the cons of every popular online business model. That way, you can pick the one that suits you the most. The first online business model I'd like to analyze in depth with you is dropshipping. So around 2019-2020, with my best friend of the time, we decided we should start a dropshipping business. After all, it was advertised as the best possible business to start for beginners. In just an instant, you'll understand why this isn't the case at all. But at the time, my friend and I stumbled upon dropshipping videos online and we thought, wow, this looked like a great business model. After all, we could make money online from the comfort of our bedrooms without having to spend money out of pocket to buy inventory and then store it in our parents' basement. And on top of that, we didn't have to reach out to leads or make content online. So my friend at the time decided to buy an expensive 2.5k dropshipping course. We decided to work on it together. Since I was still a high school student at that time, I had lots of free time, and honestly, I was just curious to see if we could actually make this into a success. I had always known I would start a business, so I wanted to try. I had nothing to lose. So that expensive dropshipping course taught us the winning product method. Basically, what we had to do was to spy on the competition to spot top performing ads. Because think about this, if an e-commerce store was spending so much money on one specific product, then chances are it's because they were profitable, they were making lots of money, otherwise they wouldn't keep doing that. And then, once we found a winning product, a trendy, cool product, we would build an entire Shopify store around that one product. And then, we'd make some creatives for Facebook ads and start running some ads. Now the problem is that when you do dropshipping and you build Shopify stores around only one winning product, the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that this isn't going to last because trends come and go and winning products are based on trends. Back when fidget spinners became extremely popular, for a few months the people who were selling it made a lot of money, but then nothing. Around Valentine's Day, when people were selling rose bears, they made a lot of money, but then nothing. So this means that even if you were successful with your dropshipping store, if it was based around a trend, you would need to constantly recreate new Shopify stores around new winning products. But so you would never build a real long-term brand. You would never grow an actual loyal customer base. You'd be starting from scratch all over again every single time. Not to mention that since you were selling the same stuff as everybody else, they could just copy your entire website, steal your winning product, and then steal your customers. So when we first tried dropshipping with my best friend when I was still in high school, we decided to sell a flat squeeze mop for $50. Why, you may ask? Because we found the competitors' ads and they were spending a lot of money on ads every single day. So we figured they wouldn't be doing this if they weren't making a lot of money. So we built an entire Shopify store and we launched our first Facebook ads campaign with no previous experience in paid advertising. And I kid you not, only 30 minutes after launching the ad campaign, we got our first sale. It's a moment I will remember forever. Every entrepreneur remembers the moment they made their first sale. Because the first time you make money online, at the time for me it was just $50, you realize, wow, I've literally done some work in my bedroom and I made $50. Of course, I couldn't really afford anything with those $50. It wasn't going to change my life because of the money itself. But what it did is break down all of my limiting beliefs. Because before I got my first online sale, I had only ever seen successful guys online saying it was possible to make money online, but I had never experienced it myself. So deep down, I was still skeptical. I still believed it was possible, but I still thought it was too good to be true, or somehow I couldn't make it work. Which is why you need to start taking action and get your first sale as quickly as possible. Because in your mind, it will open up so many possibilities. You will start to think, well, if I made a sale once, why couldn't I make $1,000? If I made $50, why couldn't I make 500, 5,000, 50,000, even 5 million? Everything that ends up big starts small. You don't build an empire overnight, you build it brick by brick. And then you look back one day after decades of hard work and you realize, wow, I've come a long way. Now, of course, this would be too good to be true if we kept making money like that. Instead, Facebook ads quickly ate up all of our ad budget. And the problem is, we tried recreating new Shopify stores, but every single time, Facebook ads would ban our ad accounts. So we spent weeks trying to find a winning product, building a store, making the ads, only to not even be able to to run those same ads because Facebook ads would ban us. And not only would it ban our ad accounts, but it wouldn't give us a proper explanation and we had no way to contact the support team, so we just had to give up. Now, because we were both broke at the time, we couldn't afford to keep spending money on Facebook ads. After losing $100, we realized we couldn't keep doing this for a very long time because we'd go bankrupt very quickly. So we decided to stop dropshipping until a few months later, we discovered a new opportunity. This time, my friend and I decided to do dropshipping, but instead of going to paid ads and losing all of our money to Facebook ads, we decided to do it using organic marketing. So what we did was pretty simple. Instead of finding a winning, trendy product, we decided to sell fitness clothes for women because typically that is not something based around the trend. People will buy fitness clothes during the winter and during the summer, and people will keep on buying fitness clothes for months and for years. And then, to get customers, we would reach out to small Instagram influencers between 500 to 5,000 followers and ask them to become our affiliates. Every time somebody would agree to become our influencer, we would give them a special discount code branded to them, and then every time we would get a sale through one of their followers that used their code, they would get 10% of the profits as a commission. And surprisingly, that worked. Within a few days of starting, we had dozens of affiliates working for us and a few $100 in revenue. In fact, within 3 days only of starting, we made $100. The problem is, at that time, I had severe shiny object syndrome. I couldn't stick to anything. I would always see the competition selling other products like bracelets, hoodies, and other things, and I thought, you know what? They look more successful than us. Let's stop what we're doing and copy them instead. And at the time, my friend went along with everything I said. And so we ended up closing a Shopify store, working on it for a week, and then I'd see another competitor and think, you know what? Instead of selling bracelets, we should be selling these kind of Japanese hoodies. And so we would never build a proper e-commerce store. We'd always be moving from one thing to the next. And I think that deep down, the reason why I had such difficulty just picking one type of product and actually making a store around that, a real e-commerce brand, was because I knew that's not what I wanted to do at that stage in my life. I was still a high school student and I knew I wanted to get rich. I didn't know how just yet, but I knew I wanted to do something that gave more value to people than simply reselling overpriced, crappy AliExpress products. I wanted to do something closer to educating, teaching. So after a bit, my friend and I, we get sick and tired of doing this and we decide to stop dropshipping completely. Now, if you would like to hear my full story and how I went from only having $400 to my name over 4 years ago to making upwards of $1,094 a day at only 21 years old, check out the first link in the description below. I've made a long video, it's over 1 hour, where I explain everything. And on top of that, I share with you the step-by-step process I used to make that happen, as well as the 2 best paths to $5,000 and $10,000 per month in 2024 and beyond. The link will be in the description below. Now let's move on to business model number 2, affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is very similar to dropshipping in the sense that you sell a product that you don't have to create yourself. So let's take a look at the pros and at the cons of affiliate marketing. The pros are you don't need to create the product. You also won't have to deal with customer support or service delivery, and so you will just be focusing on sales. That makes it easy and quick to get started because typically the part that takes the most amount of time is building a product that people want. Instead, you get to skip that part and go straight to selling. Now, the cons of affiliate marketing is that you will make less money per transaction compared to if you were to sell your own products. And then you need to make a lot of sales in order to actually make money as an affiliate marketer. That is, unless you promote high-ticket digital products and you get a 50% commission. Moving on to business model number 3, selling services. Selling services online is probably the best business model to start for beginners. Why? Because you can start with $0 and learn as you go. Even if you couldn't sign a customer for 7, for 10 months, for whatever reason, you wouldn't be losing thousands of dollars every day. You wouldn't go bankrupt. It costs you virtually nothing. That means you can essentially sustain that business forever until you find success. Because the problem when you're doing something like dropshipping with Facebook ads is that every single day you need to spend at least $100 on paid ads. And if you can't get a return on your investment, or you can't even break even, just like my best friend and I, when I was still a broke high school student, you will need to stop that business very quickly because you won't be able to keep spending money if you don't have any income. And that's why I'm always going to tell beginners to start a business using organic marketing because you get customers for free. And later on, it might make sense to use paid advertising, but not at first. Now, it's by selling services online that I was able to start seeing a decent success. Before that, I had only ever made a few $100s at most. But it's by selling done-for-you lead generation services that I was able to make multiple 4 figures per month. I was charging around $2,000 per customer at the time. The pros of selling services online is that you can get started even with no previous experience or skills. You can leverage contractors to actually do the work for you. That means you can provide video editing services even if you don't know how to do it yourself. You can provide lead generation services even if you don't know how to do it yourself. And some people might think that this is too good to be true or a scam, but that's not the case. Just think about this. Do you think that CEOs do everything themselves? No. Instead, they get employees to do the work for them. The only difference is that you don't get an employee because you would have to pay them out of pocket. Instead, you get a customer, you get paid, and then you get a contractor and you pay them, and you keep a part of the profits. You're the middleman. And typically, lots of very good freelancers and contractors, they struggle to get customers because they're very good at what they do, at let's say video editing or web design, but they don't know how to sell. And so you come in and you fix their problem and they get paid. Now when you're selling services online, you only need a few customers to get to $10,000 per month. Back when I was doing lead generation services for entrepreneurs, I was pitching them around $2,000 per month. And because they genuinely needed my services, I had lots of people reach out to me because they were interested. And when you're selling services, profit margins are high. And in business, what matters is what you keep, not what you make. If you make $10,000, but you only keep $100, what's the point? You made no money. It's better to make $5,000 and keep $5,000 as opposed to making more, but keeping way less. And while seeing more revenue in your Stripe dashboard might boost your ego, at the end of the day, you don't pay your rent, you don't pay anything with revenue, you pay it with profit after tax. Now, what are the cons of starting a service-based online business? You will need to conduct sales meetings. And I know that for a lot of people, this is very scary. In fact, I procrastinated working on my first consulting business for 7 full months because the truth is, I was afraid of rejection. I was afraid of going on sales calls and being made fun of, being humiliated, not being taken seriously. In fact, the first time I ever went on a sales call with a prospect, I kid you not, I felt like I was going to have a heart attack because my heart was beating so fast in my chest. But do you know what's funny? I think a few weeks after, I had another prospect come on a sales meeting with me. And one of the very first things he said was to actually apologize because he was so nervous and he had never been on a sales meeting like that before. And that's when I realized I wasn't the only one who was scared. I was just being too self-centered. So when you're afraid that someone is judging you, perceiving you negatively, they're literally afraid of the same thing. So stop being so self-centered and take action anyway. Nobody's looking at you. You could be dressed up in a weird costume, go run in the street, and people would look at you. They would turn their heads to see you, but then they would go about their days. They would forget about you. Do you think in 3 years they would remember? No, nobody cares. Stop being so afraid of other people judging you, because if you are, you will never achieve anything. Because let me tell you one thing, you will always have haters, especially when you start an online business. A lot of people don't want you to succeed, so they will do whatever they can to discourage you from just starting. You can't let these people win. Now, if you're scared to conduct sales meetings, and that's why you procrastinate to work on your business, you have to realize that when you use a proven step-by-step framework, sales calls are not pushy, they're not salesy, they're a simple conversation with another human being. Even me, who procrastinated working on my business for 7 months when I got started because I was too scared of rejection, I was able to overcome that fear and to conduct many sales calls. So if I could, you can do it too. And you can't expect to become successful, to become wealthy, without actually feeling a little pain, without getting rejected many times. You have to make that sacrifice. Now, the next business model on our list is selling digital products. Selling digital products is basically selling ebooks, selling courses, selling softwares or subscriptions. It can even be a paid newsletter. And doing this is exactly what allowed me to make $1,000 in a day at only 21 years old. The pros of selling digital products is that you only need to create the product one time and then you can sell it an infinite amount of times. So it's extremely scalable and profit margins are very high because since it's not a physical product, there are no manufacturing or shipping costs involved. Now, the cons of selling services online is that to be able to do that successfully, you need an audience and that takes time to build. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to show your face because there are plenty of successful accounts that are faceless. But like I said, it takes longer to see results as opposed to selling services, which is why I typically advise complete beginners to go into sell services online as opposed to try and sell digital products, because when you're just starting out, you are still in survival mode. You need money right now to pay your rent. So you can't afford to have delayed results. You need to get results as quickly as possible. And when you follow the right method, you can actually start booking dozens of meetings pretty quickly. All you need is a good offer and people that want what you have to offer. Now, moving on to the next business model, selling coaching. You could be selling one-on-one coaching or group coaching. This is ideal for people who have developed an expertise around a specific subject. For instance, personal trainers, marital advisors, health coaches, business coaches, productivity coaches. Now, when you're selling coaching services, you can do one-on-one coaching or you can also do group coaching. If you're going to start selling coaching services online, I suggest you start by selling one-on-one coaching. That way, it will allow you to really understand your prospect, your client avatar. You'll be able to build better offers that will resonate with your market better. Before I created online training programs, I was even taking free one-on-one calls with people because I wanted to make sure that this was something that people needed, not just something I thought they needed. And then you can scale by doing group coaching, because you can't just do one-on-one coaching calls all day long forever. At some point, you can't trade more time for money. So you need to find a way to dissociate your time from the amount of money that you make. The pros of selling coaching online is that you get paid doing what you love, and considering the amount of time that we spend at work, this is an amazing benefit to selling coaching. So let me know in the comments down below which online business you're going to try. Now, if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, and together let's blow up this YouTube channel to empower individuals across the globe to become financially free.